We're live. We're live. Yeah. I don't know how well this is going to turn out, but we shall try, right? Try. Ah, that's right. That's right. Let's do that here. So it changes. What is going on, America? People, what is up? It is weekend live. I forgot. I almost spaced it. It's Saturday. It feels like Sunday to me because I deliver tomorrow. And which is Sunday. It's kind of rare in the little spot market world, right? Schneider, you guys like, psh, I deliver on Sunday all the time. I drop and hook. I go, whatever, And I'm sitting here like, man, I got a lot to talk about. And I remember, it's Saturday night. It's Saturday night, weekend live. I'm here in beautiful Indiana. You guys want to see my view here? You guys want to see my view? There is my view right there. We are. I spent most of the day in Zillow Day. Not even on my own channel. I was on Pale Rider's channel, who ironically was not there, right? And we had a good conversation. We all make fun of Hull, but there was a lot of serious conversation too, because there's a lot of weird stuff going on, right? So let's talk about that. Oops, I just had it. All right. But first, we shall do some shout outs. And so that doesn't make any difference. I got one. Kind of makes it pointless. You got red, white, red, white, red, white, red. Do you have seizures yet? That's kind of what's going on, right? But anyways, it is a beautiful day. Today was a nice day of trucking. I think I hit the mother of all bumps, though. And I was like, welcome back to Indiana. See, I haven't been east of St. Louis since COVID world started. And I've been running primarily Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas. I decided, you know what? I got a decent rate coming out. Nice weekend, little ditty. And trying to establish a repertoire, if you will, of this one broker that's got constant freight coming out. So this is the trial run. I give them a decent rate. They give me a decent rate. We'll see what it's like. Now, I've had the tension on the pickup side, so we'll see how they manage that. So, all right, let's do some shout outs, shall we? Get my glasses on. Daniel Adami, Big Houston, Gary, Little Viking Coach, other trucker James Best, Trucker for Life, hello, Rick LP checking in on this beautiful day. Trucker Stable, people are insane. They are, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute, okay? You just hold on. Good evening, Steve, says John Armstrong, Chasing America. Jose, what's up, brother? I am fine. This is nuts. Please be careful, y'all. Big Tex Trucking, hey. That was an interesting video you did with Jeff there. Jeff, you and Jeff and Big Face Trucker. What's up, Trucker for Life? You doing all right? Yeah, Trucker for Life. You doing all right, man? You seem to be kind of down. I was going to give you a call today, but just to see how you were doing there. RD Trucking, what is up? Right? Hey, Snowlord, come rescue me from grandkids. LOL. Charles, I would love to be hanging out with grandkids right now, but no such luck, right? I don't have any grandkids that I know of, James Best is in the house. Finally, he says. So much senseless behavior going on next gen. We are going to talk about that. Charles Brandt. I don't know why James can't see that. Reading's hard. Big Houston, I already said hey to you. TJ Jones, what is up? World is coming to an end. This morning I woke up to a fellow driver out of Transland, and he's on my friends list, and he read my post about Minneapolis, and so he proceeded to tell me he had to stop before he got to St. Louis last night because the interstate was shut down due to protesting, however you want to look at it. And there is a video of a guy being dragged from a FedEx truck. And what the story is, as far as I could tell, is that the truck was stopped on the interstate and someone had broken into a set of doubles. So someone broke into the front first trailer and broke into the trailer while the truck was stopped and tried to exit it with something, and was dragged to his death. You could see a person with the box leave the truck, and everybody was banging on the truck. The dude was afraid for his life, and he dragged it on, right? And what a lot of people don't realize, what a lot of non-truckers don't realize, is that if you were alive in 1994, do I have that right? Of the LA riots, there's a driver named Reginald Denny that was pulled out of his truck and beaten almost to death. And every single truck driver out here has that fear. Every single one of us. And so when we see incidences like what happened in St. Louis, and we see people burning down buildings, and the cops having trouble keeping everybody at bay without trying to use deadly force, and they're stopping interstates. So they managed to stop the 101 freeway, I think, in California. They managed the interstate. There's a few interstates that were stopped. Austin, Texas, that was the other place, right? And so here's something that people need to consider, is that when a truck driver is in fear of his life, he has to defend himself. And whether that's hitting the gas pedal, or whether that's using any means necessary that might be inside the truck. Now, here's how I look at it. You want to break into my trailer? Go right ahead. I don't care. It's not worth my life. And I can't come out and do anything deadly to you if you're breaking into my trailer, okay? But if you break into my truck, that is a threat against me personally, and that will be taken seriously. And there's a lot of drivers that, and it's going to get volatile, more volatile before it gets better. Now, it's an interesting time that we live in, because the picture keeps getting bigger and bigger. You know, I've got a radio scanner. I've got a police scanner, fire department scanner, radio app. It's called Scanner. I don't think I got the Pro here. And I get alerts if more than 2,000 people start listening to an area. And sure enough, New York City, Washington D.C., Minneapolis, Los Angeles, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Austin, Cleveland, Philadelphia have all lit up on my scanner radio app. And we even had a small incident in Springfield. There was 2 protests going on, one around Glenstone and Battlefield, and then there was a peaceful one there in downtown Springfield around the square. So now, here's the interesting thing. So Los Angeles, I just watched a live that was showing 2 different hot zones of protests in Los Angeles. One was being extremely peaceful. Nobody was doing anything, okay? The second one, however, people were throwing stuff at the cops. Tear gas was being used. People were running for their lives. I saw another live feed out in New York. It was quiet. It was muted for some reason, and there were people agitating the cops. But they were in full blown running after these people. So it's, you know, the root of this is not the important part. The important part is to situational awareness, and it's going to make our jobs a lot harder. You know what I mean? And just when we were starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel with COVID world, rates were starting to come up, jobs are starting to come back, and it's we're just seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, you know, and now we've got this to contend with, and I don't know where this is going to end. This is something I did not foresee happening. Now, there's a YouTube channel called Blue Collar Logic, and he did a video this morning about the protest and the riots, and it was spot on. It's perfect. It doesn't take sides. It doesn't justify any illegal activity. It doesn't justify the guys, you know, the person that was killed by the cop. It doesn't. He's not on that side either. And that's what I'm seeing in my Facebook world, is that you're either on one side or the other. And the problem is it's not cut and dry. It's not black and white. It's a huge gray area, because you have opportunistic people that have watched the movie Purge too many times, and they think that they can get something done somewhere, right? Now, as far as a full-blown civil war, like people are wanting to call this, it's not that organized. I watched a few live feeds from Minneapolis on Facebook. I think it was Tuesday morning, and there's no organization to the looting and rioting side, right? Whereas the peaceful protesters are a little bit more organized, a little bit more even-keeled, and what's happening is one's going to be bad for the other, you know, and it's an unfortunate situation that we've kind of come across, and it's something definitely to keep an eye on. Make extra precautions about being safe, and be careful where you deliver. Or he just went through St. Louis. He had no issues this morning, and I had no issues this afternoon going through there. And other than I've got one major city to go through tomorrow, that's it. And I don't even have to go through it. And we have to be, you have to have a clear mind. You have to not be reactive, but just be aware, and know the difference of when you can defend yourself and when you can't. So you not tear up the courthouse or city buildings. They did. They burned down the police stations near Minneapolis. And I'll get some more comments here. I just read that. And what they're trying to do is there's I don't know if I really want to get out creating some kind of divide. There's, in the eyes of the protester, okay, they feel that if you make noise through people's pocketbooks, they'll be hurt. But there are opportunistic people that will use that to be able to raid the store. Target just announced in Springfield, Missouri, that they are closing the store, and they are closing multiple stores across all these cities that are having protests because they fear for the danger of their employees, and they are paying their employees while they're off. That's how serious Target's taking this, right? And of course, everybody's seeing the video footage of Target being literally just wiped clean. And the problem is that you're destroying, people like, well, Target's a big corporation. They can handle this loss, right? But what about the cashier who has done nothing to nobody, is sad that somebody had died, and hates the cop just as much as anybody else, but now doesn't have a job, doesn't have anywhere to go. She can't make a paycheck because the store that she worked at was destroyed, okay? And only to have it destroyed, and maybe the insurance will cover it, maybe it won't. You're destroying lives to demonstrate the huge problem and why this is a vicious circle, and it's always going to come around. Now, with that being said, we had riots in the 60s. There were college kids that were actually shot by our government, dead, because of these protests, right? And so we've lived in turbulent times. What I think makes this worse is the internet. The interwebs, the stirring of the hive, so to speak, is a lot easier done. And just like the video of the FedEx truck dragging that guy, in the caption it said, oh, the cops were laughing at this. Now, I haven't watched the whole video, but to me it seemed like it was an agenda on, let's make sure that everybody knows that the cops are the bad guys, okay? Now, Minneapolis, and the one has been arrested and charged with murder, okay? Justices all across the nation. There are good cops and there are bad cops. I have police officers in my family, okay? Yes, I see you guys in there. And there's really a side, because there was an injustice, but at the same time, there's other injustices don't cancel it out. In other words, it's fight fire with fire, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. So let's go with some comments here, and then Bill Riders in the house. Thomas Wilson, what's up? Where am I? You can see on Stalker 360 there. That's why I got the heat. Not taking a chance. Big text truck, and I definitely hear you. IRS building still standing. MF needs some Google Maps. Our house is on fire. Burned 3 or 4 police stations in New York. Burned a police station in Minnesota. They are declaring war. Do a call-in. I don't think so, Next Gen. They are protesting and hoodlums. For the record, you should always read my comments first. James Vest. Target don't care. They will when those businesses never come back. Saddest part of this is someone actually needs help. They won't be able to get the help. That is true. These same college kids planted bombs in federal buildings. They're open communists attempting to create upheaval in America. Cleveland locked down because they knew RD was coming. Casualty of war finally has boiled over and has brewed for years. Kneeling didn't work. Peaceful protests over the years didn't work. The next step is violence. Now, Eddie, here's the thing. Blue Collar Logic basically summarized it completely. This was a simmering, it's like a crock pot, right? It's finally about to boil over. And we don't know where this is going to land. And while and check this out. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. Something burning in the field. Is it a vehicle on fire? That's new. Oh. So right. Well, you know, just like Ferguson, right? I kept my eye on the Ferguson thing because, like, I know at one point James Hunt had told their drivers not to go into St. Louis during all that. And you literally had people with large guns trying to protect their businesses outside from the looting and the rioting. And people have been locked up for the COVID world. People are broke. People are scared. People are tired. And they've been stirred up by the internet for the last 3 months. And it has come to a boiling point. That's it. That's where we're at. It is a reality. Now, and more dangerous for us on the job that's already been dangerous. And I'm going to be extremely careful of where I go this week. I've got a load booked all the way up until Monday night, and then I'll probably head back west. I'm actually east of the Mississippi. Can you believe that? I haven't done that in a long time, right? I blame the accomplished. What part? Oh, okay. You're talking to somebody else. Okay. Makes me wonder if it's orchestrated too tiny. Well, I really don't want to get into that because I have my own theories and I keep them to myself because they're just theories. They're just opinions, right? But there are some coincidences that I cannot ignore. But for the most part, I'm just having a watchful eye, right? I'm not worried about where I go because I have the Remington 1187, Glock 23, and AR 556 in the truck. Get some, baby. The Minneapolis mayor said that most of the rioting and looting was white supremacist. LOL, delusional, I guess. This is an opinion channel, ain't it? Well, it is an opinion channel. But I don't want to be these guys to make speculations and not know what I'm talking about. It's not that I'm afraid to give an opinion. It's I don't want to, like, I don't want to turn it into a political discussion because I'm not a political person. And it's going to turn into a political discussion, which there's never any arguments won that way. If you want my opinion, blue collar logic, why the riots had to happen. That's the video you need to watch. Okay. I'm not wanting to. It's the fact that I don't want to seem crazy because I think there's a bigger play here. I think there's a bigger picture here, and the agenda. I mean, okay, so coincidentally, when things started to lift up for the COVID world, right? This starts. When we were distracted, like, okay, a lot of our constitutional rights are being taken away, you know, a lot of the Orwellian aspects of our lives have have come into play. And suddenly they're forgotten about because we're afraid. We're afraid of the new threat. Now, interestingly enough, do you think that'll be interesting to see that play out, right? Shauna, what's up? I had a robocall staying away from Baltimore because of the protesters. I live in Michigan, so that's odd. That's weird, John. GNC Family Trucking hits upon it a little bit. Guys, there is a huge war being fought that we haven't even begun to scratch the surface. I explained a little bit to James Best about it. And I've shared a particular Facebook video with some other people that kind of coincides with what a friend of mine's been telling me for the last 5 years, right? 5 or 6 years. And what's happening now is playing into that. And the bottom line is this, guys. America and our way of life is under attack on 3 or 4 or 5 different fronts. And there are people, there are corporations that are going to profit from both sides of any war that comes about, right? So we create an economic distress has been created, and now we're creating civil unrest. That makes us a potential target, a weak target. Strength of America to go down. You let it collapse within itself. Remember that. So while everybody's arguing over the details, I'm looking at the bigger picture, and the details are not worth arguing over, okay? It's the bigger picture that you have to be aware of. And that is my opinion. That is what's going on, okay? I think I'm going to turn on the APU. Hold on. Uh-oh, it won't restart. All right, we're good, yeah. The APU, now let me get some fanage here. Doer. I had a lot of work done. I had AP worked on. It needed a PM, it needed new belts, and they had to fix the capacitor. So the AC wouldn't keep kicking off. For some reason, I had a rough start. Not sure what happened with that. Probably these dang bumps of where I'm at. So. Let's go with some comments here. Sorry for the dead air. Liberal, it's brainwashed to vote for them. I agree with that, John. What did Big Rich say that 109 countries? What's 109 countries? Flex capacitor? No, not the flux capacitor, Levine Coach, the capacitor. Looking back, there's a plan that was written by a specific group that was both an ethnicity and religion who want to replace the white population. Was that the same thing going on 2 years ago in Dallas? Happen again? That's been ongoing. You're talking about the APU, James Best? Yeah, it should be fixed now because I tested the APU before I picked it up and it was good. But we're testing it now. But yeah, we finally got that fixed. It was more of a nuisance, but you know, and then I got my inverter installed finally. So I've got a big fancy inverter. So if there's a night where I don't need to run the APU, I can still run my CPAP. So, or anything else for that matter. Anyone see the SpaceX launch today? Start Singing America. I saw that launch. Now, here's the interesting thing. Basically, what makes this rocket special is that and that was supposed to be the coolest thing about this thing, right? And the feed cut off, like it showed the platform, and then it cut off, and then it reappeared with the thing in the platform, and it's like, wait a minute, that seems kind of weird, right? But other than that, it was kind of cool. I'll be curious to see when that thing lands in America, when it comes back. GNC, it's not just the liberals, is much more than that. It's the ones behind a lot of this are against the American system. Why can't they record the whole lane? Yeah, I thought so. It's definitely an interesting time that we're living in, and the only thing I ask is that, you know, eyes. Here's the level of idiocy that I deal with, right? People throwing stuff from I-35 there in Minneapolis, right? Now it's time to purge, right? Well, how do you know this? How do you know that this is happening, right? Actually, I think I was talking about Atlanta being shut down, and I'm like, from people that are really there. It's like, well, I refuse to believe that this is happening like this. Like, and then I went to his page and he's talking about, I'm not in the mood for an internet war. I'm like, there was no war. I just told you something that was happening, and because of my perspective as a truck driver and the connections that I have, it's really happening. People are really throwing shit off the overpasses. Boston. Well, let the fear-mongering start. That's what he said. Let the fear-mongering start. Again, I can't even state a fact without someone getting their panties uptight, right? By the way, this expensive water is awesome. I think they kind of like us being decided it's all about fear and what party can protect you. The media is a joke. Unfortunately, in 2020, we're so backwards, the media is the main problem. I agree with that. They're only going to show you what they want you to see. People ain't going to like you, whatever you say anyway, so the hell with them. Next gen, you're so correct. I got haters. You've been banned for 30 days at a time on Facebook like 5 times. You are nothing compared to Big Rich, man. Big Rich is the Facebook banned champion. So, I think he's got like 15 profiles, and every single one gets kicked to the curb. I wasn't exaggerating. Now, in other news, let's talk about some other news. Rates are coming up. Now's the time to create a really good repertoire with the broker and show them that you're better than that schleppy next to you. You know, send them the emails, do the check calls, give location notices, use that macro point, use that Project 44. Be on time, be early. Still in business and they aren't. Let's show the brokers why you've got your act together and those people don't. And why PD's vehicle are burning up. I meant divided, no other word. I say I have fat thumbs. No more fear mongering, another crisis, take manage. Look guys, the division is what they want. You can't have you guys seen any of the footage of the helicopters going through Iraq taking things out? We don't stand a chance against our government, right? And the problem with the theory of civil war is that nobody's organized enough to do that, okay? If you watch any live feeds from any of these protests / looting sessions, you will see that these are unorganized events when it comes to the violent aspect. The peaceful part, yes, that's organized, right? And they get mad at the people that are doing the destruction because it goes against what they're trying to do. So them, the protesters in and of themselves are divided, okay? In and of themselves are divided. There's no organization. Now, what that does though, it creates civil unrest. That civil unrest combined with COVID world gives the government more reasons to take away our freedoms. Think about that. The more divided we become, the more easily controlled we are. Because no one can band together. No one can do something for the common good. It's every man for himself. You had people during Hurricane Katrina that were shooting at the very people that were trying to save their lives. That's how screwed up this world is. So the only thing that you can count on, is to do everything that you can to protect yourself, because violent are going to take things that you love and that you cherish. And you got to do everything you can to defend yourself from that. That is my opinion. That's what it's all about. "100% Snorlord. It's in the churches, friends, family, everyone's on that. Anything they don't believe or have a different opinion of." Blame suburban white Antifa, and Antifa is blaming right-wing whites and their racism, fake word, and as a racist, I'm just trying to work and not have to kill. Next Gen says, "I am awesome, thank you." They're going after the food supply as we speak. Only 4 meat packers left. Well, if I can coach, you ain't kidding. I went to Walmart today. They're in Vandalia, Illinois. My favorite Walmart. And it was weird. It was really weird. I managed to find 2 things of hamburger because as keto, hamburger is magic food, right? And I'm trying not to resort to the processed meats, but that seems to be the only thing left. Now there was plenty of sanitizer, there was plenty of wipes, there was plenty of toilet paper, there was plenty of paper towel. Now we're messing with the food chain. The frozen vegetable section was half empty. I believe there's a bigger play on controlling the food supply. Make them broke, make them stressed, make them hungry, and you create civil unrest. That's it. We're there. Now, if you shop anywhere besides Walmart, it's a little bit easier to find me. No. It says, I highly encourage anyone interested in the food supply to watch Sean Baker's channel. Yep, especially today's video. LVC, you got a little wrenchy thing. Put up a link here. Go for it. These are just a bunch of high school and college kids throwing water bottle and starting fires and running. It doesn't make any sense. If you're breeding rabbits and chickens and ducks for meat and growing your own vegetables, you're good. Christian Trucker did a really good video about that. If you're sitting on a piece of land with a stocked pond, you're gonna eat. You're gonna eat good, right? But when you live in the middle of Manhattan, there's really not much you can do. I remember when I was in my early 20s, in my late teens, I wanted to live in the big city. I wanted to be a part of that, right? I am so glad that I've done a complete 180 on that. Get me as far as away from people as I possibly can. Trucker Stable, Tallahassee, Florida just issued a curfew 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. tonight and tomorrow night. There it is. All these cities are implementing curfews. Do you guys not see that? Do you guys not see that another one of our rights has been taken away? Okay? Curfews. You're told where to stand, how to stand, what you can wear into a store, what you're allowed to buy, and now you're told when you can come out, when you can't. We are truly living in dystopian times. We control their food, we can starve the urbanites and leftists out. No, Nomad Trucker, bass is great. I love bass. I love crappie. My dad had pounds and pounds of it in his freezer, man. He was fishing every weekend, and he would just have excessive amounts of fish. I love crappie. Crappie and walleye. That's the shiznit right there. I'm kind of freaking you out, John. Well, I'm not trying to freak you out. I'm just kind of, all cities controlled by leftists. That is another coincidence that I happen to notice. I grew up in the Bronx, and there's a lot that you can do. But if you're living in a port town where you got the ocean to fish out of, you're good there too. Move out of the cities. No, don't move out of the cities. Stay in the cities. We don't need some urban massive exodus into my little town. Use APM blocking I-35, looting UPS and FedEx trucks right on the road. That's going on in St. Louis too. That's a good dream, John. I like that dream. Stick to that. Book recommendation, Animal Farm, Homeschool Project of the Week. Follow this timeline with book to present later. Ray Bradbury was ahead of his time on that book. From big picture TVs to the interstates to headphones, the little earbuds, to interactive TV. Everything. The only thing we're not doing that book portrayed, the only thing we're not doing is going into people's houses burning their books. That's the only thing we're not doing. Yet. You remember St. Louis had them riots 5 years ago. Everyone forgot about that riot in 6 months. This one as well, to a new issue. I think this one's different, John. I think this one's a little different. Then watch Soil. I haven't watched that. My wife thought I was crazy 2 years ago when I bought an avocado orchard. Now she thinks I'm a genius. There you go, little Viking coach. You got the keto. You got the second keto superfood. If you can live off a diet of hamburger and avocados, you are golden, right? I talked to an Oregon State police officer today. They were called out to Portland last night for rioters and told not to do anything, just watch. Do you know, want these people to get it out of their system, and they'll eventually go away. That's what they're holding. If any of the cops fight back, if any of them shoot one protester, it is on. Okay? That's how fragile this situation is. It is on. That's why they're told to sit there and watch. Because if it escalates any further, it will be a full-blown civil unrest. Completely. In the house. They're using rubber bullets in LA. Yep, non-lethal though. So it's guys, you got to be safe out there. We're already almost at an hour. Now, yes, actually, James Best, I have my offer in. That if I choose to grab it, and it's nowhere near as high as yours. So yeah, we can talk about that privately. Rubber bullets can kill. Yeah. Book sales are way down. People like to be spoon-fed. Man, you couldn't tell at my house, man. My house, we got 4 books. I think the only thing that outnumbers books is CDs. And that's my fault. My wife's got just as many books as I do CDs, I think. I'm all for peaceful protests. It's the riots I have a problem with. And that's the problem. People are lumping it into one thing. Now our stupid governor is saying that it's going to cause COVID spread in 3 weeks, continue the shutdown. There you go. There you go. There you go, Mr. Dave. More rights are being taken away because of this. I'm noticing that brokers are putting more late fees, early arrival fees. Can't arrive a half hour before with the rates going up a bit. People are intellectually lazy and can't even bother to do more than read headlines of important articles. That is true. Hello, 1990s are still a thing. I belong to these Facebook groups of these guys that have like 20 versions of one CD, right? One album. And us metalheads love to sit there by the fire and with coffee or a hot chocolate and listen to our death metal, listen to our heavy metal, put the record on this little fancy stand, and that's a weird noise. And and just sit there and listen to our music. Uh-oh. Are we done? Let me take a look at something here. Oh, the APU sounds normal from the outside. We got cool air, so we're good. If more people did more to inform themselves, things would change very fast. We have all the knowledge of the world in our hands, and people are dumber than ever. Big Rich, there's not a truer statement right there. Have you hit the thumbs up today, says Little Viking Coach. Anyone on my Facebook knows that I immerse myself in the conversations and research for no to. Okay, good, sounded weird. I know it's like it pitched. There's a different pitch to it. And usually like that means there's a reefer next to me. That might be the case. I think there's a Stevens truck next to me. Maybe it's reefer. Intellectual divide is broadening. It shows on Twitter and in politics. Absolutely. I got that portal notice 2 days ago, Jeff. Big Rig Radio Network is in the house. Don't forget to say a prayer for Ike's wife. Yes, guys, if you didn't know, Ike Stevens, his wife, had an aneurysm, and she's fighting for her life right now. So let's give out prayers to him. Hey Jeff, I want to talk to you about that EIDL sometime. Either call me tomorrow or something. Yeah, it's a pretty bad deal. Yeah. I can't imagine, I can't imagine the nightmare if I was 500 or 600 miles away from the house and that happened. Jeff, we'll talk about that privately. Dang it. I have another one. Better to take it and change your mind than pass it on and change your mind. I agree with that, Jeff. I actually do. Jeff, you and I got to talk tomorrow, though. Jeff, you got to talk to me about that tomorrow. I want to see if we're on the same page on that. Oh, secrets, this guy. I applied for the IDL, was rejected, then they declined me, says Dana Ladami. Little Mike out spreading rumors there. Anyways, you guys got any comments, questions, concerns, and warnings for me? Warnings for your fellow driver? Big Rig Bill, evening from Jacksonville, Florida. Oh, and a shout out to Spartan Direct and Road Pro for giving me my. Not buying that W900. No, it's funny. Our like trucking guy that has the W9, I passed him today. He calls me up. He's like, "Steve, where you at?" I asked him where he was at. He was like, "Well, I'm just coming out of Rolla. I'm 44 heading west." I said, "Well, I happen to be coming into Rolla going east," and we passed each other. I got to see his truck for the first time. It's a beauty. It's a beauty. And so I told him about my live feed where I was like actually got inside the W9 and all that. He paid $5,000 more than what that one's priced at an MHC right now. And it was an interesting conversation, but no, I don't think there's a chance in hell that truck's ever gonna be. Your Snow Alerts agent now, Low Bike Coach? Absolutely. Take all the money, you'll be dead before it's paid back, LOL. I'm thinking going with orange or Ampeg. What do you think? I'm a metalhead, so I just got Ibanez for a guitar. John, it depends on what kind of sound you want. If you're going for that Sabbathy, like old school tone, orange is a good tone. Ibanez is real versatile. Not Ibanez, Ampeg is real versatile. When Mesa Boogie Mark III or Mark IV, I think is what it's called, is really good. I love PV's products. PV is really good. PV has probably the most versatile sound out of all of them because you can kind of. But I know a lot of the bands that I like, a lot of the Doom, Sabbathy style bands I like, they play orange. So it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a crunchy, old school Metallica sound, the Ampeg might be better, but if you're going for the old like heavy metal tone, orange is pretty good too. You can't go wrong either way. I've seen some ugly 900s, James Best. Don't get too cocky there. I spent half a day and several dollars Friday ordering upgrades for mine from Pittsburgh. Mass, getting in shape and starting my own farm. To hell with this crap. Big Rich, I wish you good luck. But that does sound like a good plan, as James Best put it. Dribbled on myself. So, anyways, we are right at an hour. If there's nothing else, guys, we'll end this live feed. I believe. Did you guys catch Pale Rider's live feed last night? He interviewed Tex Crowley. That was pretty cool. Tex Crowley is one of the original. If you're on YouTube as a truck driver, Tex Crowley did it before you. I'm kind of like Mastodon meets Lamb of God. that's a wide variety there. You can't go wrong. PV, I love PV's products, and then Angle's another good one. What I would do is I would look at the bands that you like the most, and then Google to see what kind of gear they're using, what they endorse, and what they use. Because there's a lot of articles out there of what a particular band, what did Mastodon use on a particular album for their gear. I would try to find that, but I really like. You can't go wrong either way. So. Watch Sean Baker, Big Rich. He will help motivate you to go carnivore. Go with the crate. I haven't tested anything that crate has done. Now, I had a crate Stealth 2-band. It was their first all 2-band. And that thing, I guarantee it. I had people with Mesa Boogies. I had people with the best amps out. And why does it say crate on there? Now, crate also makes the best sounding practice amps, like a GX15. Those things are indestructible. You can throw them down the road and they will still work, and they still sound like they could tear your face off. It seems to be lagging a little bit tonight. Probably because I go live in prime time, it lags more in prime time. Little Vine Coach has a point right there. I think YouTube is lagging because everyone is streaming riots. Guys, yep, turn down the quality, it'll help. I know beef is up, but how about fish and pork? I'd rather eat fish sometimes. Pork is right about the same when it comes to regards at Walmart. I suggest on the meat, find a local butcher, find the mom and pop grocery store. If you're going through some small town and you want meat for your truck, hit that little grocery store that's on the side of the truck stop, okay? They'll have a better meat selection than Walmart does right now. I've witnessed that firsthand. RJM is joining us, Snow Alert. Oh, okay, cool. Congrats. Welcome to the family. So, anyways, thanks for watching. And guys, be safe out there. Pay attention to the news. Pay attention to the Googles. Read between the lines. And Google Maps will tell you if things are shut down in the middle of the interstate or in the middle of the cities that you're going through. Try to stay away from the cities at night. And try to stay away from the cities that are having the most protests. Okay? So with that being said, Ratman, you're late. You'll have to watch the replay. And, you know, guys, take care of yourself and let's take care of each other. Peace.